The Supermarine Spitfire is more than just an aeroplane, it's an icon. It is moreover an icon that is quintessentially and self-confidently British. Originally the Spitfire was designed solely as a short-range air defence fighter, but in service its versatility became legendary. Fitted with bomb racks, it became an effective fighter bomber. With capacious extra fuel tanks built into the wings, the reconnaissance version ranged far and wide over occupied Europe to photograph targets. Renamed the Seafire, a modified version operated from the decks of aircraft carriers. There will never be another aircraft like the Spitfire. Let us hope there will never need to be.
So let's get to the kit. Here we have the Eduard Spitfire Mk I early. It's a 1/48 kit, it's Profi Pack edition, and the kit number is 82152. First of all, a box art. Really like the box art, really nice. Really, I was really tempted by the kit because in the vain hope that we would have some of these pilots that are relaxing. Sorry for the glare a little bit, but the lighting is what it is. But anyway, this is the pack. So on the side of our box, we have got another rendition of our cover. Some information about the kit itself, just saying there's 7 marking options, and it's made in the Czech Republic. So the 7 options, as you can see, I won't read them all out, but hopefully you'll be able to see those on the screen. Nice variants from 1938 all the way up to 1940. On the side of the box is just again a repeat of the box art, and that's about it. So let's have a delve inside, shall we? I've not opened anything up, so we'll just see what we've got to start with. Straight off the bat, as you can see, we have our instructions. We'll go through those in a minute or two. And then the kit itself. A couple of sprues there with our main fuselage, etc. And on the other side is our wing section. We have a nice bit of faux etch there. Some clear parts. Again, nice to see it's in its own separate bag. Really good. And then another bag with a couple of sprues, all bits and pieces in there that we need. Our decal options. And last but not least, a masking set. So let's go through things bit by bit. We'll open the bags up off camera. But first of all, we'll have a quick look at our instructions. Now, as you can see, a nice lot of information there about the Spitfire, its service, the kit series is all there. If you want to pause and read that, you're more than welcome. Straight into the side, into our instructions, and as you can see, we've got our Usual for Eduard, these are the sprues that you have, and the bits that are marked in blue are the bits that you're not going to use on this particular kit. So obviously it's a mixture of other kits. Right down the bottom here we have our colour call outs and manufacturers of Mr. Colour, etc. All there explained, and straight onto our cockpit. Now, as you can see, there's some detail in here in which you can add in, which is our PE. Nicely laid out, should be fairly easy to follow. Not going to go into any major depth. It's instructions, they are what they are. But obviously you've got some optional things here for the closed canopy or the open canopy. Onto our construction of our wings and fuselage. Again, watch out for the PE, etc. There is PE strewn throughout it. Lots of options and bits and pieces to go on there, and it's going to come out to be a quite detailed and good looking plane by the look of it. There is options on your spinners to be aware of those. So obviously with the 7 variants there are, you have to make sure you're 100% sure of where you are with things. I would suggest that you go through the instructions at the beginning and mark out what it is you want. That way you won't make any mistakes. And then on to the last part, putting the canopy on, etc. And our masking set explained all there. It also does say here as well to use some liquid mask. So the mask won't do everything, so be aware of that. And then it goes on to our options. This is October 1938. And note the spinner. So you've got 2 options there where you single, also to 2-part spinner, and then onto the 3-part spinner for these options. So again, I'm not going to read them all out. They are there for you. If you want to read them, you're more than welcome. Press pause. But again, nicely laid out, really good to see all the different angles of the plane that you're building and how it's going to look, or how they hope you're going to make it look. And then again at the end, these are the stencils that are covered on all of the variants, and I think that's a nice easy set of instructions to follow. So onto the decals. So the larger part of the decals, this one here, these are your variant types. Nice set of decals, as you can see. Very little carrier film, so nothing to be trimmed down or anything like that, as I can see as I'm looking through it. But they're nice and clear, good looking decals. And then the smaller one here is the stencils that will be on all the variants. Again, nicely laid out. You can't really go wrong, can you? To our main PE, as you can see there, some nice looking detail for our cockpit. It's a 2-part piece for our main cockpit instrument panel, etc. We've got the belts and the other bits and pieces of PE. All very nice, very crisp, as you would expect. Let's start looking at the main sprues. As you can see, these are our main fuselage. There are 2 sprues. I'm guessing it's to do with the variants. I'm not 100% sure. I got to be honest. Bit surprised to see 2 in there, to be honest, but that's fine. So let's have a look at them individually, and we can look at the detail on there, can't we? So you can see some nice crisp detail on our fuselage. Lots of riveting. We have our panel lines, etc., that are recessed. The sort of thing you would expect. Very nice. The interior of our fuselage has got a little bit of detail in here, but obviously you're going to add to that as you build the model up. So that's looking nice. And the one thing I like on here as well, on the other opposite side, you've got this inspection hatch here. Now that's nicely marked out, so if you want to cut that out, that's not going to be a big problem. A little bit of care and attention, and it'll come out quite nicely. But as you can see, the riveting detail on there is really, really nice. Really nice. So those are our fuselage sprues. Our next sprue is the wing section. We've got our upper pieces here and our lower piece there, obviously. But again, as you can see, the detailing is very, very nice again. With our rivet detail on panel lines. And the underneath is equally beautiful. Some in the wheel wells, there is very small amount of detail in there, but again, you can add to that quite easily. So very nice. So the next sprue we've got here, we've got our a couple of our spinners, some options with our chairs, which is really quite nice, and obviously the size of the chairs there as well, nicely detailed. Got some rivets on there as well. So on to our next sprue. As you can see with this one, we've got another spinner. We've got our older version spinner here, which is 2-part, which is quite a strange way of doing it. I've not seen it done like that before. That's quite interesting. But then we've got our cockpit internals. Now, I did say that on the fuselage there was a bit of detail, but obviously you've got these little plates in which will go in, and as you can tell, I might turn that up the right way. As we're saying, we've got the internal cockpit walls there, nicely detailed. Lots of stuff going on there. Really nice. I like that. And other bits and pieces in here as well. Now, if you don't want to use the photo etch, there is a cockpit front there that you can use without that doesn't have the photo etch. You can detail that up. That's quite nice to see. And as a kit part, let me try and zoom you in a little bit closer. Hopefully get that. So as you can see, there's the non-PE cockpit wall. Quite a lot of nice detail there, and to be honest with you, that'd be quite interesting to paint up if you're into your detailing. And if you use your PE, that's something to hold on to that you could potentially use in another build or another kit. Always good to have something like that in your Greebles box. So yeah, we've got our engine exhaust there, which is quite nice, nicely molded. Something nice there to work with is our ends of our exhausts have already got the indentation, so you could drill those out quite easily without losing any detail, but add in some detail because obviously drilling it out. So yeah, nice little touch. So on to our next sprue. We've obviously got the rear of the aircraft here and some other bits and pieces going on, and our wheels, of course. Again, surface details, lovely, riveting, etc. is all there. It's really nice, really crisp. Let's have a quick look at our wheels. The wheels have got some tread on them, but not a great deal. But they're okay. They're good. I like them. I like them a lot. Some nice radiator inserts. Yeah, very nice. Liking the look of that, Eduard. So finally is our clear parts. Lots of canopy bits and pieces and options going on there. The plastic is really clear and crisp, very nice. No imperfections that I can see on any of those canopies. So next up is our Eduard Brassin Spitfire Mk II engine. This is kit number 648613. Now, if you've not had the joy of seeing or making one of these, you should treat yourself. You really should. Price-wise, they're really good for what you get, but you know, when you're buying a 148 kit, they are equal cost in some respects to the kit you're buying. However, with that said, this is a kit in itself, so a little bit of a mind change is required when buying one of these. I certainly had to do that. So let's have a look, see what you got inside. In the box, you've got 3 bags. You've got 2 bags of resin and a bag of PE. We'll start with the PE and see what's all about. So nice bit of PE there. This is obviously your engine mounting, mainly. Some wiring, etc. I believe that is, or pipe work, radiator, etc. Lots going on there. If you're into your PE, this will be easy for you. If it's not something you've done before, then a little bit of time and attention is all you need. So that's the PE. Let's have a little look at the resin that you get, shall we? Now, this first bag is all to do with your engine. So, first of all, this is the main engine block itself, upside down. But as you can see, nice and crisp. So one thing to note, just the top here, looks like there's been a mismold, but I guarantee you it's not. What this actually is the wiring for your engine. So in the middle here is a little bit of extra resin. Now, it has to be said that could you do away with this in the molding and just point out where the wires go on your kit and you can add the wire? Yes. But if you drill through these little bits of waste resin very, very carefully, you should be able to bring those wires out really nice. So it's a nice bit of detail. So don't panic if it goes wrong clearing this out. Then obviously I would take a picture of it before you start doing anything, and then very carefully with a pin drill that out and take out the bit of resin you don't need. If it goes wrong, just refer to your pictures so you can add the wire in. So yeah, that's the engine. It's the main engine block anyway. So there you got the front part of the engine there. And again, as you can see, really crisp, really nicely detailed. A detailer's dream, Brassin is, without a doubt. Now here gives a great example of what I was just saying to you. Obviously, this is some exhaust pipe work, and you don't need all this clear bits, but you need that structure on there to keep the mold right. So just a little bit of attention, take your time, take it off, and as I said, you will be fine. Another few parts there to go onto the engine, starter motor, etc. I don't know all the parts of a Spitfire engine, so I'm not even going to attempt it. Oh, engine exhaust, nice and crisp. Again, if you want to drill out these little bits, you could do, but to be honest, there's enough recess in them for you not to have to do that at this scale. Another piece of the engine there, part of the spinning part, I guess, at the front. Again, lots of extra detail in there. And I just wanted to show you the engine wall. Now, this engine wall looks really detailed, doesn't it? Looks really, really good. I'm very impressed with that. However, I did note that there are quite a few bits of PE to put onto that, so that's not a complete wall yet. But that is going to look supreme, totally supreme. So there you go, that's the main engine. On to our next bag. Now these are all our engine covers. These are the bits that we're going to have to cut off the fuselage. So you don't need to worry about taking them off in a way in which you can reuse them. But if you take time and trouble and care to take them off, you can put them in your greebles box and they'll always come into use. So as you can see, nicely detailed with our rivets, etc. Looking good. The underneath of our engine cover. The underneath engine cover. Yeah, I did say that right. So yeah, no, that's quite plain. And you've got some other little bits and pieces on here. Now, I think I'm right in saying that some of these will go onto our engine wall. These will go onto our engine wall. So yeah, lots of things to go on there, but like I say, you've got to be really, really careful on how you take those off. And air intake for our engine as well. So obviously the one thing in which I didn't show you as I opened the box is the instructions. They do come with instructions, of course. The problem is with such a small box, they have to be folded up to go into that box. So these have been sat in inside of a book, trying to flatten them out. It's not hard to do, but anyway. So these are the instructions. You've got all your parts here that you've been provided with, and then you're straight into the instructions. Now it's not a book as such, but each step will explain to you exactly what to do. So on this particular one, this is telling you what you need to cut off your main fuselage in preparation for what you're going to do. There's a bit to come off the main fuselage, there's a little bit to come off the bottom section of our wings. So bear that in mind. Now, this is what I was saying to you on our on our engine wall. There are several bits to go on, so you have to watch that. There's a little bit of wire that's required, but it's explaining to you exactly what it is you need and where you need to put it. And again, same on here. So lots of interesting techniques going to be used on this. So it can take a bit of concentration as well. So it is a kit in itself, remember. And this is what I was saying at the beginning, is that the price of it, you think, oh, do I really want to spend that money? But it is a kit in itself. And what you have to do is no different. Obviously on here, it is telling you your color call outs for painting it up as well. And the way it's explaining it, I would assume that you would paint this up as you go along. Otherwise, you're going to struggle to get it done later. So the next section of instructions is the main engine cradle. And again, this is telling you to use some wire. Take a little bit of time to get your head around it. But like I say, it is a kit in itself. You've got PE to go on there as well. That's all explained. Then you've got the front part of our engine. Again, there's additional bits to add on to the detail that's already there, with extra resin parts. There's a bit more wire required. I have to double check that I've got the wire that I need. And then bringing the engine together, you've got your pipe work at the top here as part of PE, putting all the bits together. It's a good instruction. So you're bringing all our engine together still. Again, like I say, watch out, you've got a bit of wire still required for extra piping, etc. And still it goes on. And again, it just keeps bringing you through the sections. There is still wire to be used. And we're up to our last bit. And the last part, as you see, the engine was going in. to our fuselage. So the last bit there you're putting on is the bits where you can attach your panels to, etc. And this explains the underside bits and pieces as well. So there you go, there's the Eduard Spitfire Mk I with its engine of Mk II. And you might think, well, that's a bit strange, I've not got the right engine there. Well, you're sort of right and you're sort of wrong. This is actually going to be built for part of the group build for the Plastic Posses podcast group build. I've chosen the Eduard kit. It was either the Eduard kit or the Tamiya. I built the Tamiya, great kit. This looks just equally as good. And what we're going to do is we're going to build this up into a diorama. So I hope you enjoyed that review. It's a good looking kit, and like I say, although the cost of this extra is equal to the cost of this kit, as you can probably see, and I hope you would agree with me, the detail that brings to your kit is phenomenal and is a kit in itself. This is the first time I've ever tackled one of these, so it could be quite interesting to see how it comes. So coming up soon will be a video build of these kits. You can see how I struggle on with it, warts and all. Hopefully it won't be too bad, but there's not really a time limit as such, although I think it's a couple of months that I've got earmarked to do it. So watch out for those, and until next time, see you later. Bye-bye now.